Welcome to Kickstarter Pause. So who wants to play? What is Kickstarter Pause? Well, it's when a guest sits down to watch all the crowdfunding videos we are advocating for, and they hit pause on a video when their interest is lost in that video. This is a fun way to teach creators about the attention spans of individuals and what works and does not work in their videos. Want to be a guest? Have a crowdfunding campaign? Reach out to us, but for now, let's start this program and introduce our guest judge. All right, everybody. It's going to be a little bit of a different show. So the reality of the situation right now is that, well, there's not a lot kickstarting. There's not a lot going on Kickstarter-wise for us to really warrant a 7 reasons. And even Kickstarter Pause itself, I believe we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these different, so that's about a half an hour, generally speaking, of a show. And this is a 1-hour show. So we're going to do things a little differently today. You're going to have to bear with me. I have, unfortunately, some family stuff going on, so you'll have to excuse me if I suddenly have to step away. I have a couple pre-loaded videos. We're having a bit of a family emergency, so I do apologize, but I have to answer the phone today. I can't let a phone call go unanswered today. I do apologize. Hopefully we can get through the show today, but on with the show. Here we go. Let's see. I'm going to bring it up for you. I'm trying to get the right screen. There it is for you, because I don't want to show the wrong screen. And there we are, the Kickstarter Pause logo. Of course, this can all be found on our amazing site, comicbookadvocates.com. And what is Comic Book Advocates? That's a good question. Let's find out through this informational video. Comicbookadvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that. And you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics like comicbookadvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating, because we love comics. And of course, we have recently retired the old logo for the site, and that's going to go on. We're going to reuse that for Jax down the line, either with Cat Dad and Supermom or maybe something else, maybe comics in kids' hands. So we are now proud also to be on geekinsider.com. And we are, let's see, we are live on Geek Insider, of course. We're live on different YouTube stations. This is what we're doing. We're trying to bring you as much as we can. I'm even going to talk to Varian about getting this on Indie Volt Radio, maybe as a pre-taped preamble a little later on. I don't know how that will work. We're still working it out. But the whole idea is to get you guys as much of the crowdfunding awesomeness that we can get you. So let's get on with it. And like I said, there's no pause today. We're gonna deep dive into some things. Maybe someone will show up. I've sent out some invites. That's why I keep checking my messenger to see what's going on. But for right now, let's dive into it. You have all the links for all the campaigns in the comments section itself. Hey there, understand all my thoughts are with your family. Thank you, Sarah. And some of these you're going to see where I'm trying different things to get the lagging on the videos to stop as much as I can. It's not always easy to do that. I'm hoping today we've done some stuff. But by the way, while we're here, we might as well talk about you being more than just a fan. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics. Subscribe to comicbookadvocates.com, the site that puts the love of comics first. All right, so let's get to it. And I'm up first, and I get to be part of this. And we just uploaded the 3-minute informational video. But guess what? I said it was a deep dive, right? So we're going to go to the site itself from now on. You can see, for those following it, it has a new look. Let's watch the video first, and then we'll go from there. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in for this promotional video about Written Sins Volume 1, the COMiX Devil, alternatively known as the Volume of Pride, because that's the sin we're covering, because it's all about me, the uncanny, underground indie devil who's an advocate for underground and indie comics. And I'm also a proud single dad, and, you should get to know me. I'm a really interesting person. At least that's what I'm told. You can find out more about me at MrAndersin.com. You can see the haircut I have. But this is actually about the earlier work I had. And there are some interesting stories, including that of the New York Reporter. Find out what happens when a city, New York City in fact, needs a hero, and what being a hero and the costs of being a hero means through the pages of a comic book that's a newspaper. That's right. This is something made entirely to tell you a story of the city that Dark Justice inherits. The other comic book, where we find out when a city needs a hero to be a symbol of hope, sometimes it's a job just too big for one man. We're going to find out what that means within those pages. And Gothic Blue, created by my sister Shorty. She may glow blue, but don't assume her gothic heart is here to save you. She's just here to balance the scales of justice. So what does all that mean? Well, you got to read the comic to find out, including Trollgate. Trollgate's an interesting comic. I love this. Art amazingly done by James Eric Hudson. It's just online, right? It isn't real. But what happens when fake online stuff affects the lives of those in real life? And bullying causes a person to take their own life. Oh my. And Painbox. The world is often unfair, especially when you get hurt at work. But what if those who decide on your compensation had to feel the pain? Would that change the practice from unfair to fair? And of course, Barbara Unleashed is going to be available within this Kickstarter as well as a reward, not part of the main volume, but as a reward. And The Advocator presents, here it is. You can see my edition of it right there. The Advocator is the poo-poo platter of indie comics. Get your copies right now via this campaign. And you could read that later, pause the video, see what we're about. It explains it nicely, but we're going to move on. We're also going to be giving you guys the opportunity to get Cat Dad and Supermom through this campaign. But ultimately, this campaign is all about Written Sins, Volume 1, the COMiX Devil, that's me. All the different creative things I had, including some new stuff that you've never seen before, including Painbox, an alternative story for Gothic Blue that never got finished by the artist. I'm super excited to bring you all this. I hope you guys look deeply into it. Check out all the videos I'm doing about it and ask any questions. Trust me, we can make you guys your own unique, custom reward level if you want. Thank you for watching the video. That's it for now. I appreciate you taking the time. And we're going to be joined by Luke, so we're going to jump on into Luke's right after mine. The good thing about this newer version of the show is the fact that I don't actually have to go in order, so we can just bring people in and have them. I would send out an open link, but this is really meant for the crowdfunding campaign. So if you have a crowdfunding thing that we're not covering right now, because there's a lot of bullshit going on with Facebook. I don't know what's up with it, but it's messed up since their new update. And we're still trying to figure out what it looks like and how we're going to be able to use it, because everything about it's not going well. But for right now, let's introduce Luke. Luke, introduce yourself.
Hello. My name is Luke Stone. Well, I'm hearing some feedback. Hi, my name is Luke Stone. I am the writer and the artist behind Sons of God and the artist behind Voodoo Nations, which is live on Kickstarter right now. So you can go by there and check that out.
And we're going to look at that in just a minute. So hang out. You're going to hear more from Luke. And the Written Sins Volume 1, the COMiX Devil's Tales. Now, if you notice in the video, I talk about myself in third person, and a lot of people are like, well, that's kind of weird that you're talking about yourself in the third person. First off, I'm a huge fan of The Rock, so I don't know how really weird it is, all right? The Rock used to always talk about himself in the third person. But kidding around aside, it's easier to talk about yourself sometimes in third person when you're doing a video or something like that, because you don't feel like you're talking about yourself anymore, and there's just a gear that changes in your mind. So I was trying it that way because that day I was having trouble getting it recorded. And, I have to record these things with a hyperactive 5-year-old running around the back of me, and I hate doing video editing. Video editing is such a pain. And I obviously also been very distracted with some family stuff, so I haven't actually done the updates that I wanted to the past 2 weeks. So I wanted to run a shorter campaign. The problem with a shorter campaign is that when something comes up in the middle of it, you don't have as much catch-up time when you've been very distracted. So I did add some new stuff today. For those who haven't read my earlier work, you'll be surprised at the fact that I actually focus on political stuff, including 2 characters fighting each other in the middle of a riot. And I know that sounds very similar to the time period, which is funny because the book took place in 2020. I wrote it originally in 2002. And since then, I've tried to develop it, and it's just one of those things that I can. Of course, Barbara Unleashed is going to be available as a reward. You can get the PDF version of all the books with her, and including the Written Sins Volume 1, which are the additional tales. And I'll be sharing some stuff out earlier today. And this covers New York Reporter, which is actually a newspaper comic book. I got a lot of credit for this. When I started doing comics on demand, wasn't and isn't what it is today. It was a completely different thing. As a matter of fact, the first comic I did was a Staples copy. Luke, you've been around a while. Have you ever had to go that way where you printed your comic at like a Staples or a Kinko's?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I've probably gone one further than that. We had a local printer that said that he could print my comic book, and so what I did is I offered a bunch of free work, graphic design for him, so that he would print off my book. And basically, it was photocopies on like 11 by 17, and we trimmed them down. And so it was pretty crazy.
But that just shows you the passion of creators, and I don't think we talk enough about that and give enough credit to creators for all the energy that they have and do put in for these amazing projects. And that's kind of what this was, a way to look back at all the stuff I had done getting to this moment. So I invite you all to be part of this. Dark Justice right here. I actually used action figures because I can't draw. I really can't. You're going to see my exact example of why I can't draw in just a second. But these are actually action figures that I modified and I used to tell a story. I don't know anyone else who's ever done that. I'm sure it's happened in the time.
There's someone that's done it. It's called Robot Chicken.
No, they use claymation.
Some of those are action figures, bro.
That's true. They do, right? Some of them are action figures. That's right. I love Robot Chicken. I'm not going to say the idea came from them because I really don't think it did at this point. I don't even know if there was Robot Chicken. Well, how old is Robot Chicken?
I don't know. At least 10 years old, isn't it?
I don't know, honestly. So I can't say whether I'd seen it or not at that point. I was still married, so my television watching was controlled by a woman. And you all know what that means. There's not as much of that time for those types of things. Plus, I was working 16 hours a day, working out. There was a lot going on in my life in that period until I got hurt. When I got hurt, actually, I did get hurt. So I don't know. Maybe I did see it, Robot Chicken. To be honest with you, the idea just came from necessity. I had an artist who I'd met at New York Comic Con Special Edition. They don't do it anymore. But it was like a smaller, more comic-centric con that happened in April. And I had gone to it, and I just had back surgery, so I'm using a walker. I feel horrible. You ever want to really feel bad about yourself and how people look at you? Either use a walker or go into use a wheelchair and look at how people look at you. They look at you like you have what was it in the Bible that they had that everyone tried to avoid? Leprosy. Leprosy. I was going to call leper. They look at you that way, like they're going to catch a wheelchair. Oh, if he touches me, I'm suddenly going to have to use a wheelchair. That's the way you get looked at. So that is how
wheelchairs work, isn't it?
Apparently for people, and that's so real quick story because we have time today because we have so few Kickstarters. So I was in a wheelchair that one year, right? The next year I go back to New York Comic Con, not the special edition. The doctor still doesn't really want me walking around because I still have bones healing in my back that haven't fused yet. And if someone hits me hard enough, they could break literally my back. So my doctor's worried even about signing off on me going to New York Comic Con, not in a wheelchair. So I have to get, I don't want to be in a wheelchair, so I get one of those scooters, right? But I decide to try the scooter out. I'm adding like a basket. I'm adding vanity plate. I put up a flag there. Like, I did everything I could to make it cute and unique, because at that point I had learned to walk again, and I could do distances, but they were just worried about my back. They were even worried about the weight of my son at that point when I was picking him up, because he grew very quickly. So that was just the time period I was going through. So imagine that entire time period and creating something when another person fails on you. And that's the passion I put into this. And this gets me, to this date, I am highly respected up in the New York community for what I did. Because people saw it, they understood what I was going through, and they saw that I created something when everyone else had excuses. I created a comic book. And, I took pictures of New York City. Like, all this is my stuff. And I did this all. Like, even like, I think you'll enjoy this. And I put this on the page. If you go to Dark Justice, you can actually see the picture of it. I used a box and a box and a box and a box to make a warehouse. And that's what this image actually is. Him falling through a box. And this is like, this was 2000 and I want to say, because Jax was born, so it was the first year he was born. It was 2015, because he was just a baby when we took him to New York Comic Con. And he was literally would sit in my arms and I'd be in the scooter. Because we got at a point where we didn't want to take around the baby carriage and the scooter,
Oh yeah.
So we were just.
I think that probably took longer to take all those pictures than it would be to draw a comic book.
Not if you can't draw. And I have the proof right here. So this is me drawing.
Well, that's not that bad.
To me, it is. To me, it's absolutely awful.
Yeah. Trust me, I've seen some books out there that are worse drawn than that.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but like when you look at your own work and and I know at that point, and again, I just had major back surgery. The challenge for New York Comic Con was to not pay for it, to just get it done. Like the challenge I'm in now for the New York Comic Con 8-page, you're not supposed to pay for any of the work. You're supposed to collaborate with people. The funny thing was in this one up here, I was actually going to pay the guy because I was going to do 2 different stories. And I was like, oh, well, if I do a second one, I can pay for that one. Ha ha, I'll get around the rule, right?
Yeah.
And then this was also supposed to be drawn by someone else. And I was like, okay, 2 artists flaked on me. I can't do action figures for both. I thought about using nesting dolls for the story, but I'm like, no, I don't even know if that's copyright material, So I was like, I'll draw it. I'll find a way. Now think about that. You have an injured shoulder right now. Imagine having that shoulder put onto you to the point where you can't bend anymore. You can't bend your arm at all. You have to stand completely straight or sit completely straight. And you have to wear like these things that are healing your bones or something to keep you upright the entire time, and now try to draw.
Yeah. I'm afraid that is what the next step in my shoulder recovery is going to be.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult. You have to literally, look up for a second. To draw, I had to have something right here so I could go like this, because I could not bend at all. So I had it slightly slanted, and I would be drawing right in front of my face. Wow. So I basically went to the kitchen table and shot my seat completely down to the lowest level it could be and had that like an art board. And I'm trying to do this, and I can't draw anything like this. But, I've had a lot of compliments, especially when people realize, and they hear the story of the back surgery, they realize that I'm not an artist, and I'm not trying to be an artist. But I'll forever be able to, like, anyone who goes, well, you're just a writer. You shouldn't be an artist alley anyway. I'm like, actually, I have an artist credit. And then, funny. It's pretty exciting. It even has this, the Who Am I? I don't even think Luke's read this yet.
No, I haven't read that.
My originally published thing from You're Not Alone, it was a graphic novel. I don't know what happened to those guys. They didn't really put it out, but me and Anthony, who's an amazing artist, and Anthony Ricci, I always say that wrong, but he's an amazing artist. We decided to do it on a chalkboard. It's really awesome. That's going to be inside the book for the first time ever since then. And then I had an artist, and I won't mention his name, and I'll say it because we have a little bit of time. And I'm not trying to talk badly, but he was having some issues, and I'm going to leave it at that. And he just disappeared, and he blocked me after paying for art. And I have a half-finished, half-unfinished story that in this circumstance, I can actually put it out. Because in this type of book, it fits, because this is all about my creative journey. And then we have what I worked with Eric Hudson, the Troll Gate. That's an interesting story about someone being forced to do. They felt forced into taking their own life because of online bullying, and we explore what that looks like in the legal system through a court case. And then we have Painbox. Luke, have you read that? I know I sent it.
Yes, I've read that one.
Okay, so
I like that one.
Brand new. This is brand new. This is actually about me getting injured in a way. It's a what would you call it? It's not really a dramatization of it, because I changed certain features just because I didn't want anyone bitching or crying or having to get into a legal aspect of it. Like, I left parts out of it that I felt should be part of it. But
it's I mean, it was. Yeah, is that the one about the workman's comp thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is only the first of 3 parts, and I do plan to get the other 2 parts out. This took a little longer than we expected to get it out. We finally got it out, and then last year I just didn't have a place to put it. I thought about putting it in the Advocator at first, and then I thought about doing this book because someone said you should collect all your earlier stuff. And I was like, it's not a bad idea, because people like to see on the road, especially, like, I had these books, and the original book was a flip book, and it's like 12 pages, and I'm not lying to you, Luke. I priced them at $20 for like no, not 12, for maybe a 16-page book. I think it was 16 pages. So it's like 16 pages, and I would price it at $20 because I didn't want to lose a copy of it. And I had like 30 copies when I first started going on the road. People were buying it for $20 a shot because they thought it was cool that someone who was injured did all that, because people would ask me the story behind it,
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know that I can get $20 for an 18-page book. So hats off to you, brother.
I was amazed.
Able to do that.
I was amazed because I didn't want to sell it, and I started with 30, and I stopped putting it out because it kept selling. That's how bad it was. And the reason I stopped putting it out is because I started out with 30, and then we had Irma, and I went down to 5 left. And you can't get back the original prints. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I could print it, but that would always be the first time I printed a book. That was literally the first time I had a comic, was this one. I would put New York into a comic book form, but this was my first comic ever in a comic book form. So the other one, I mean, it was literally just a Kinko's copy or a Staples copy or job. And then later I put it into a nicer comic book. But this was the first time I actually did a comic book with an idea of a comic book in mind. So this is me in depth. You can get the Advocator, you can get Barbara Unleashed, you get Cat Dead and Supermom, because I got to sell out of them because we need the Terraform branded one to take over. So I'm trying to get rid of those. I might even, after this campaign's over, even do maybe a special for back to school just to try to liquidate, because when the Kickstarter went off, I never expected to be signing with Terraform, and I'm not complaining. I love being part of Terraform Comics, but I also want to represent Terraform Comics. And that means trying to liquidate all the issues of the books that I have now that aren't Terraform labeled. So you guys might see a deal coming out soon with that, where I'm going to try to make it interesting. I'll give you some old Jax books or something, but that'll be after this Kickstarter, because I didn't want to really put Jax into this one too much, and Cat Dad and Supermom. I just wanted to offer it as part of a collection. But that's me. Enough about me. I feel awkward even talking about me for this long. Let's move on to Voodoo Nations.
Voodoo Nations.
Now, have you updated? I mean, we have time, but we don't have 10 minutes time.
I've not updated the video. I plan on doing that this week. I would have done it yesterday, but I was in the doctor's offices and then high on muscle relaxers and painkillers yesterday. So yesterday was not a productive day for Luke. I did get a lot of rest in, so that was good. So today, as you'll see, I actually got some new toys too while I was at it. So because this arm doesn't want to move up, I got this little remote control to run my Clip Studio stuff. And I got this bigger tablet, which you're kind of seeing me every time my eyes go down. I've got this huge 20-inch tablet that I'm drawing on. So that way I can keep working and kind of get caught up from a couple days of kind of slow production. But I'm working on the script and the new video for that tonight. So hopefully I'll have that up. But yeah, this video was long. It was something that Travis and I just thought, hey, let's just do this kind of like almost like vlog of the Kickstarter. And so we kind of go in there, ramble a little bit, but it gives a good idea. So I'm working on a much more condensed version of the video, but we can talk about all of the stuff that's the video talks about throughout the Kickstarter if you want to do that.
Yeah, and I also think that the video itself would be a smart idea to keep below. Just, just give that elevator pitch up top. So let's look into it. Thanks. We have time today. We can do a deep dive and we can talk about some rewards and some of the different covers. I know you guys apparently are doing these aren't stretch goals, right? They're because you haven't made the goal yet. Are these pre-goals? Like, what would you call these?
These are kind of stretch goals. They're backer goals. So we would like to see a certain number of backers come into it, because Travis and I have both had pretty successful Kickstarters. Travis has had, 3 or 4. I've had the last hybrid's got 102 backers. And so really our idea is, we know that we want as many people getting a hold of the book as we can. We don't really doubt that we're going to hit our funding goal. And so for us, our goals are really based on new readers and not necessarily on dollar amounts. So we're really wanting to hit a certain backer amount. And so all of the stretch goals that we create to start with are going to be backer goals. And we knew we were going to have a lot of backers out of the gate right away. We were able to hit like close to 100 the first day, which was just overwhelmed me personally, to be honest with you, because I've not had more than, 102 is the most backers that I've ever had on one of my campaigns in a single day. So, but we hit that pretty quick. And so we've just been kind of trying to really move in those backer goals. And now we do have stretch goals that are going to open up after we hit the $3,000. So once we hit that number, we're going to have stretch goals that way. But these are backer goals probably.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. So let's talk about these covers. We have this cover here.
Yes, that's the main cover. That's the one that I drew for the project as the main cover. It wasn't originally the main, but I really felt like we needed to have something a little more dynamic than what we had currently. So I whipped that cover up. I kept thinking like, hey, I think this would look really cool if we did this, and so that's what we did. So that's the main cover.
All right, and then we have, I believe this is the other cover you did, right?
Yeah, I did this other cover. This was kind of the first idea. And so this is the first sketch of the cover, and it was going to be the main. And so we were going to do a day and a night variant of that, which we still are doing. And everyone thought the day-night variant option was kind of a cool thing. And so we decided we probably should stick with that. But I didn't feel like this was as dynamic a cover to have as our main. It didn't really focus on the main character as much as I would like it to. And so that's why I drew the other one. Because I felt like it was a little more dynamic, kind of in your face kind of stuff.
And while it doesn't show it right here, stop me if I'm wrong, this has a duality cover, doesn't it?
Yeah, the day-night version. So there's a night version of it and a day version of it. So you kind of get 2 different views of kind of Lucas doing that. And we're going to do that with all of and the reason why is because when I drew the line art, we had no idea kind of day or night setting. And so the colorist actually did 2 versions. So that we could see them, and we liked them both, and we didn't want to choose. So we decided to have a day-night variant. And so we're going to do that for the future issues too. So I think we're going to continue doing the day-night option on those.
All right. So cool. And we have one final cover to talk about. And then I want you to give the pitch, because you never actually gave the pitch. I'm warming you up.
Yeah.
Where's
I got that pitch down.
Yeah, I know. You really good.
I don't know, where is that other cover at? It's normally in there. Oh, there it is. That is the Stan Yak cover. So we had Stan Yak. We commissioned him to do a cover. And so that is a really cool image that he did for us. That will also be available in a virgin cover. So it'll just be the art on there. We've got a sketch cover, and we actually have a tier to where I'll actually do a sketch of Bishop Lucas on the cover. If you back that tier, and that tier is like $100, you get all of the covers plus like some other swag that we've got, and which is really cool. And so we got that. And I'm going to tease a little bit here for anyone that might be watching or listening that there are going to be more covers. They're going to be revealed as we go. We're going to have a lot. Unfortunately, I'm not really a big variant cover guide, but we're going to have a ton of variants on this one. So we've got some team up covers where it's going to connect with some other stuff. And yeah, we're pretty excited about it, but those will be released and talked about as we continue out through the campaign. But yeah.
All right.
Pretty neat stuff.
Super cool. All right. So we're going to put you on the spot. You're going to talk to us about your pitch. So
Sure. Yeah. So basically it's two young missionaries. They get their world turned upside down by this devastatingly wicked voodoo priest named Bishop Lucas. And clearly Bishop is not a typical voodoo term. And so we learn a little bit more about him throughout this course of the story. But Bishop Lucas basically just turns these young missionaries' lives upside down. And so we do a 4-issue world trekking series where they have their worldview challenged, where they have their faith challenged, and where they have reality challenged. And so it's going to be really, really cool. You're not going to want to miss a single issue. It's going to be a 4-issue miniseries. And it launches with this very first issue of Voodoo Nations #1.
All right. Now, Luke, did you want to stick around and be more part of the show, or did you want to try to catch up on work? Because I know you had a busy day yesterday at the doctor's office.
Yeah, no, I'll stick around for a little bit. I can keep my fingers moving while we talk.
All right. Sounds good. So let's move on to the next one up on our, and we'll start closing these so we know what to do, where we're at next. And by the way, at NYCC, I think I'm saying that wrong, #1 is coming to Kickstarter.
Is it Anaki?
Anaki, maybe. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, my dyslexia. That makes sense, though. I could see that. It's an Afro-punk story of a con girl that faces her witch force when a black market dealer goes south. Oh, man, that's going to be a good one. Can't wait to get...
That sounds good, actually.
Yeah. Can't wait to have her on the show. And we're just going to quickly pause. We're hit the 30-minute mark. And at the 30-minute mark, we say hello to the Geek Insider Network by playing an ad so you guys know how you can advertise on the Geek Insider Network.
We'll be back right after this quick break. For Geek Insider advertising opportunities, contact advertising@geekinsider.com. We offer space on the website, in the daily newsletter, sponsored posts, and advertising space on our podcast. For details, contact advertising@geekinsider.com.
Now, Luke, one last thing. When does your campaign end?
Our campaign ends in... Give me 2 seconds here. I believe it's 24 days. Maybe it's 23. Again, I totally missed a day yesterday, so I might still be thinking it's Monday.
And like I said,
23 days. We have 23 days left. We hit 127 backers. That puts us less than 25 away. That's like 23 away from our next backer goal. And we've just hit over $2,000. So we are well on our way to that mark that we're looking for. And our next backer goal, we'll update here. Yes. Our next backer goal is 150, and you get 3 more digital comics that everybody gets. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, we're giving a ton of stuff. And one of these things that we're getting is this book called Mahoney's. And you guys, this is a good book, and I don't think a lot of people here in the United States are really aware of it yet, but it's a really cool book. In fact, the artist I've worked with him for a number of projects now, and he helps do most of my layouts. So like he will go and do the layouts of the pages that I draw. And so you'll see his work and some things, and it'd be a cool book to get.
Matt Knowles says, looking forward to the Voodoo Nations variant covers. And by the way, the Demoness is not the voodoo thing. We just put this up while Luke was going. We don't have a video to play with this. Fantastic by Luis Torres. Does an amazing job. And I kind of dig the book. I really like it. I actually have to back it, apparently. I didn't back it yet. Sometimes you forget what you've backed when you do this. But the cover art, the art in the book is amazing. I've gotten to read part of the book already. It's really a good book, actually. And, it is a little sexually driven, but it's on purpose. You know what I mean? I hate the books that try to act like they're sexually driven and you open up inside and it has nothing to do with sexuality, as opposed to a book that, the book's a little sexual. Get used to it,
Yeah, I would much rather. I'd much rather know what I'm getting into than not.
Yeah, you know, when you take a book and you're like, oh no, this is for all audiences, and you're slutting your female character on the cover.
That's not all audience.
You'll make money, but the people who are backing you are going to suddenly realize what you're up to, and it's like with the people out there who try to get the try to be like, well, I'm anti-COMiXgate. No, I am COMiXgate. Everyone back me. I'd rather you just say that you don't have a side. Stop trying to earn a crowd that you're not genuine about. And that's how I feel about those covers. And I'm actually going to be working on an anthology talking about sexualized covers and the way female characters are drawn, and even male characters, in a sort of parody book. And hopefully going to be releasing that sometimes in 2021. So definitely check this out. And remember, everybody, all of those links are actually in your particular. I guess it should be in the comment above, but I'll just throw it in the chat room. Mind you, when I throw this in the chat room, it'll probably break it up into like 15 different things. So suddenly everyone's going to get like 30 comments. So I apologize for that. There's going to be a lot of comments, but everyone's links should be in there. So hopefully it didn't mess it up too bad. Yeah, but everyone just got tons of links thrown in their way. So try to back all these great campaigns. We're going to move on because there's, like I said, not really a video to play in this one. So we're going to bounce on out. And I guess we're heading over to All-Star. Now, let's see. Did they update their video?
The co-creator All-Star.
Okay, so I don't think they updated the video yet, but they talk about who's on the team, and we've talked about that on Kickstarter Pause. You've been someone on Kickstarter Pause, but this book is about bullying and how a young man sees the world around him, and as he escapes into the comic book world that he loves, and he winds up drawing the characters and escaping from real life into this comic book. I think that's so beautiful. How many of us have done that in our own lives, escape the real world by going into comic books?
You know, Rob, to be honest, I think that anyone who reads, writes, draws, collects, I think any of us can say, you know, that's our thing, you know. And the art looks beautiful in that book, by the way.
Yeah.
Really, really attractive. Can you back up to those that other page with the face? No, back down. Oh, so too far. That looks good. That looks good. Go down a little further. That one right there with those faces. How expressive is that? That is. People don't understand how hard it is to draw expression on faces. It is very, very difficult to do that. And with all of those lines, the colorist did a great job too. I'm not sure. Now, see, at this point, this is when I want to know who the creative team is. I don't care in the first video, the pitch video. But when I get down here, I want to be like, oh, wow, that artist, that colorist, they did a really good job together. And that's usually right after you show the art is when I show the creative team. But
yeah, and all they really need for this is there. But here, I mean, it's super awesome that they did this. I had them on for the INDEE event. Very passionate creators. We all got into a deep conversation. We were joined by Victor Dandridge. Honestly, one of the better videos I've ever been part of, interview-wise, and very proud of what we came up with. So definitely check this out. Again, their video does not give them the credit they are due for what they have created. Like Luke said, look at the beautiful art in this. You're going to be blown away by this.
What's the name of this book? Like, I have not backed this yet, but I'm going to as soon as I get off here.
All-Star. All-Star. Not All Stars Are Bright, a superhero graphic novel. And you can find it now because I put all the links everywhere in the world on probably anything I've posted today. There's going to be a link for it now.
So they've got 6 days. They have funded. I'm going to see what. Really, they should be at 100 backers.
Yeah,
because I really like to see them get 100 backers, but they have blown their goal out of the water. So they're blowing it out of the water. But the art is fantastic, and I like the story concept. And what are the price tier that you can get in at? Do they offer U.S. shipping?
Let's see. $2 for a digital PDF. It's black and white. You get for $4 American. You get, apparently Jack's having a problem. You get the digital PDFs and all that for color, and for $12 you get the physical. It ships anywhere in the world. Let me see. Physical black and white.
Yes, they got black and white. Yeah, I would like the one in color because it looks gorgeous.
Let's see. The color book. I'm not signed in here, so it won't show me the shipping costs. Well, what I'll do is I'll go into my other browser that I'm signed into. You guys can't see, and we'll look at it. In the meantime, I'll get back to that question, and we'll play the seed.
You don't want to dox yourself.
Yeah, I don't want people knowing how I'm signing into things. So we'll watch Seed Seekers. This is from our friend Martha Schwartz. Check it out.
What does it take to make a hero? What is a hero? Is it magic, strength, knowledge? Deep in another dimension, somewhere in a different universe, a seed was planted. With that seed, it helped to shape the world it became with the heart of a hero. A prince who was torn out of that universe by a humble wizard named Eposh, in safety of the evil daughter of a destructive wizard to that world, Shauna, and her brother Shane. They had sought out the revenge of the demise of their father by the king, father of the prince. Eposh sought the aid of 3 brave warriors, heroes in their own right, whom cared about their dying community suffering from a
Is the video playing on your end? Because I just see a black rectangle for the video.
Set out to make their world whole again. Geoff, Mardeline, and Rose set out to
I
the
got it.
long-lost prince in this lost dimension through portals to send him back to their dying dimension. Ian, as he was named, soon returned that with kindness and understanding. It helped plant a seed of peace, kindness, and teamwork. With that idea, he conformed the wizard Shauna and her brother to restore the kingdom to what it once was. With care and the work of their small group, they soon discovered more among them, finding the long-lost rebel Toby of the unruly Black Banner. They helped him forget the past and rebuild the future of their kingdom. But what's next? Only a small seed was planted, but with the strength, knowledge, magic, and teamwork, there's so much more to grow. Will our heroes find others? Will they overcome obstacles of the past to help rebuild the future? To reshape the long-lost dimension, we need to find more warriors. With this new volume, we will do that. We need to make our kingdom stronger. Will you join us? Will you help support Seed Seekers?
I think this is a pretty cool concept, and I like some of the, as you're scrolling down, the perks, and that was special.
Yeah, I didn't understand why she did that. That was I don't think that's her art. I think that was someone else did that art for her, a naughty one. I guess she's just testing out a way to get more money, because doing a clean comic doesn't always pay.
Trust me, I know.
Sometimes it's real easy to lean in. I mean, even with the Written Sins Volume 1, it's easy to put Barbara in there to try to even get people to take a look at it, because it is a very different concept book. And I think she struggles with the same thing. This reminds me of Fern Gully. So if you're a fan of Fern Gully growing up, this is definitely going to be in your lane, in your wheelhouse right here.
Yeah. I know that sexy image will probably get a few adult backers, but I don't know that it feels like the story is more geared towards young ladies, actually, or young boys, and maybe that'll get the young boys a little interested there, but not all of them. But yeah, I think it looks cool. And now, which images are Martha's art? Can we see some of her art? I want to see.
All of this is her art except for that one image. That one image.
Oh,
yeah. I believe that was Jenny Gregory who did that one.
It's pretty strong art. I don't need that pin up in there like that. That whole thing like that kind of, for me, that just kind of it kind of breaks the continuity of the story of like what she's trying to do here, and I'm not really interested in that at all.
Yeah.
For a couple reasons, because I would get this book not for me, because I'm not really into the fantasy stuff like that. But this, but this looks like a well done book about fantasy that I think the demographic, and because I've published books before like this, back with Tenacious Comics, I published a book by Troy Vivacis, that's his name. And he does some more all ages books, and he had one called The Diamond Star. And it was kind of in the same vein, but I feel like this story is much better developed. No offense to Troy or anything, but I feel like this story is, and that book was very popular. That was very, very popular. Really cool art and stuff. But I really feel like Martha has really developed this in. But our key demographic for that book was preteens, and mostly preteen girls loved that book. Like they would, when someone would come up to the table and we would present that book, preteen, we sold that copy. Couldn't sell hybrids, couldn't sell Rapid Eye, some of these other books that we were doing, couldn't sell those, but we could sell Troy's book to that demographic. And so for me, if I were to get this, I would get it for I would get it to read, but I would also pass that on to, like, say, my 10-year-old son. And I don't know that it just feels like that one kind of sexy pinup just kind of.
Well, I think it is just a pinup. I don't think you get it in the book. I don't think that Martha put it in the book. I think it is just meant to be a pinup. And I mean, you got to hustle.
That's for Dad, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's for Dad. I even have it in my Kickstarter right now. This is for you, and this is for the kids. You got to do that. Play to both markets. By the way, to answer your question, the All-Star, I just backed the color edition for $14. Shipping is free
to the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to back it, but I'm afraid they're going to lose their butts on this.
I don't think so, because in our interview they said that they had a partner over here.
Oh, well, then that makes total sense. Then yeah. I will be backing that for certain.
I didn't want to say it was free. Still, there was a point where it was free, but I didn't remember if it was stuck. And then I remembered up here when I was looking at it like an idiot. It was right here in front of us the whole
free
time.
Shipping worldwide. There it is. Okay. Yeah. Well, I will go back that, because that looks like an amazing book. For $14, that's a steal.
Yeah, it really is. And then this is a 60-page graphic novel. So
$14 for a 60-page graphic novel.
44 page.
44. Still, I mean that, yeah.
A fantastic deal. Definitely worth the money. I definitely supported it, so you should support it too. Let's see. We'll go on to Ava, and she's got a good new video. Look, she's $4,222, kicking my ass. 7 days left, 129 backers, doing fantastic. Let's check it out. Got a video for her.
Eva is a cyberpunk comic book series based on a love of 80s sci-fi and fantasy fiction. The story is set in the Ardent Nation, an upbeat, stylized technological utopia set in the 23rd century. However, all is not what it seems. Individuality and privacy are rare commodities that only the governing elite are privileged to. So imagine, if you will, social media becoming the governing body of a surviving nation. Everything about you and what you do since the day you were born is automatically streamed onto your timeline. This is then monitored by a totalitarian regime known as Mainframe. Mainframe's prime directive is to compete for technological advancement and for survival in a post-apocalyptic world. In the spirit of fighting cyber terrorism, people of the Ardent Nation are kept on a short leash through the use of surveillance implants. The message is simple: comply with mainframe standard behavior protocol or be rehabilitated. It's all about working as a collective for a common cause while suppressing any scope for individual thought and self-expression. Iva is now complete and ready for publication. It's a labour of love that's been brought to life by the epic illustrative skills of Timothy Green II. It's an extraordinary journey, one of which we hope our readers will join us on.
Now, of course, I have not hidden the fact that I'm a huge fan of this. This book is amazing.
You have not hidden that fact at all.
Down to the fact of the art in this book. I love the new cover that they had. I grabbed the new cover. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I'm so not used to Indiegogo. No, I don't want to back it. I want to show off the new cover. Come on. I already backed it. I'm already a backer. Trying to show off some love here. I don't think it's going to let me do it. So let me see if I can just open the image. Here we go. Check out that new cover.
It looks great. Yeah.
Timothy Green II, amazing. Of course, you might know him from his work on Aeon Flux, not the movie, but the comic book.
The graphic novel.
Yeah.
The graphic novel, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a great job on that. I've always liked his work. He's done some other stuff. He was pretty instrumental when they started kind of releasing the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. He did like the Groot and Raccoon, Rocket Raccoon Groot. Really good work on those pieces. Amazing art. I really like what they got going there. The story is interesting, though it does seem a little reminiscent of a movie that I watched called, I think it was called The Circle or something like that, where it was kind of the social media thing or whatever. And it also kind of touches back on I think a movie called, I can't remember. Maybe it's called Stranger Than Fiction or something like that. But there was a story about a guy that goes through a time warp or whatever and gets into this kind of future where when you're 65, you have to retire to different things, and social media keeps track of you and stuff. But I mean, so there's some of the elements in those things where that's there, but it seems well done. And so I'm looking forward to reading this story myself personally.
Matt Knowles, have you given us permission to show this? For those who aren't aware, we have a permission process to be on this show now. We do it just to protect ourselves because it's going to be on Kickstarter Pause or on shows like this where we're giving opinions. And I don't want anyone who gets an opinion to deal with the consequence of someone trying to start drama. Like, we put it in your face right away what we're going to do if we're covering your product. We're going to say, sometimes something we notice. So, Matt, did you say yes or no? The last time I checked at 12:30, you didn't, but or at 11:30. But before I go on the show, I'm usually setting the show up. So if you've said it or something, please give me a thumbs up if you're still watching. And Ines is going to be a special guest live on Geek Speak tomorrow at 4 p.m. So that's pretty exciting. Can't wait to see her. We tried to get her up on this program too. Okay, we got Matt Knowles says, absolutely, permission is in the thread. All music and video created by us, permission granted. All right, so we can actually I did load Matt's because a lot of times I'll ask for something like the permission, and while we're live, people do give me permission. I just didn't go back and look yet, but this is a little more of a longer format than we normally do. We've actually filled an hour, which is good because I was worried about doing that. Especially because, it's hard right now. No one's kickstarting. No one's doing these Indiegogos, are they?
No. It seems to be, I just don't know if people are just shy about it, whatever. It's been a little rougher this go to, running this one than Hybrids was. But
last year, this same week, we had 20 crowdfunding campaigns we were covering.
Wow.
Today we have 10, and that's counting Matt, who's just come on, and you who just came on. 10 is a slow week for me. I can do 10 in my sleep, I
think 10's a slow week for crowdfunding comics in general.
Yes, and there is a growth in the and I'll say this. I want to publicly say this right now, just so everyone's aware. I am not COMiXgate, but I am COMiXgate friendly. I'm also SJW friendly, and I'm moderate friendly, Republican friendly, Democratic friendly. If you create a crowdfunding campaign, if you create a comic book, you are welcome on here, so long as you don't have hate rhetoric in everything you do, and you're not out there spreading hate. If I see that you're spreading hate, that could be an issue. Or if your book spreads hate itself or is overly political, such as attacking Trump or attacking religion. Those are my basic rules. It's not hard, kids. So if anyone has a problem with the fact that I am supportive of COMiXgate, get over it. They're creators just like you. They might have different opinions than you, but they're just creators. Stop making it a bigger deal than it is. Support each other. Stop trying to be a crab bucket and a crab in a crab bucket and tearing people down. You don't like someone, don't back them. That's fine. That's within your purview. Absolutely, you don't have to back anyone who's on this show. But you don't get to tell me who's on the show, and I want the COMiXgate community to know that they are welcome on here. Because there were some people I know who were going around, not saying that they weren't welcome here, but they were worried whether they would be welcomed here. They are absolutely welcome on this program. I don't care if you're COMiXgate. I care who you are as a person. COMiXgate to me is just like calling yourself a Republican or a Democrat, which I am neither. I am a moderate. So I don't have to care about that kind of stuff because I look at everything case by case. So, and that's what we should do.
Yeah, I would love to start the libertarian comic book movement. Where's that at?
You can try. By the way, breaking news, and this is given to by my co-host right now. DC Universe completely scraps yearly subscription plan. Not a huge surprise, but just so you guys know, watching live, that is officially, they are getting rid of the DC Universe. I'm sure they'll probably just trade off for HBO Max because that's where they moved a lot of their content. But Iva's doing great. Ines, great job. 83% funded. She's going to get there because you guys are going to help her get there. Please share this out. Back at Today, amazing comic book. Fair shipping costs. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I think she's being too fair to the American audience. So, you know, do what you got to do to be part of it now because issue number 2, it might not be so fair because she's trying. She's really trying to get you a book in your hands. She's really excited about this project. And, you know, like most first creators, she's willing to take a hit to getting them into your hand. So do that for us. Hey, Luke, take over for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I would say you definitely want to check out Iva there. We have spoke with Ines, and she is a very passionate creator. Number one, at the price point that she's offering this book for, there's no reason why you shouldn't get a hold of this thing. And yes, the shipping to the U.S. is way cheaper than what you will be able to get anywhere else. So we're not quite sure how she's doing that, but by all means, take advantage of it. She's sitting at 129 backers right now with 7 days left to go. Now on Indiegogo, some people do a flex goal and then some people do a fixed goal. And right now you can see that hers is a fixed goal of $5,070. So she is ever close to that $5,070. And on a fixed goal, that means it's much like Kickstarter where she's got to hit that amount or else she loses everything. So we need to go ahead and support Ines right now, get over there and back her project. Now, Indiegogo does work a little bit differently than Kickstarter, where Kickstarter will take your money out at the end of the campaign. Indiegogo takes your money out immediately. So I know that sometimes is a deterrent for some of the people that typically back Kickstarter, but as a backer myself, I back both Indiegogos and Kickstarters, and I actually prefer to have that money taken out. I hate that surprise at the end of the whole thing, Rob. I hate it when I'm like getting in there and I'm like, oh, Kickstarter just took money. I'm like, oh no, I need to buy groceries. But definitely check that out and get a hold of that book. She's doing a fantastic job with it, and you will not be disappointed by the art or by the storytelling. I can tell you that much right now. So definitely check out Iva on Kickstarter. No, not Kickstarter, on Indiegogo for 7 more days. She's got a week to go. Let's get it done for her.
Yes. And I actually prefer Indiegogo. I understand why Kickstarter does what it does. Because, I mean, on Indiegogo, there are people who haven't made their goal, but they haven't used the fixed goal. They used the flex goal. But I know for a fact, we've talked to Ines. No matter what happens, she's getting you this book. And we're so proud of her. $4,244 shows the energy of a creator. Support her. This is a person you want to support, and you could see the art in it. Just the art in it alone is a reason that you should back it. I'm sorry, but this is a book that you should have in your collection. And you know what's cool about it? It's a creator from across the pond. I like that. A female creator from across the pond over in England. I think that's awesome, actually. I really do. Meredith says, I was actually afraid of the shipping costs for Iva, which is why I haven't supported it. But if you're saying it's reasonable, I'm headed there now. Yes, extremely reasonable. I am absolutely amazed by the cost of just the book itself. Very reasonable. Very reasonable. As a matter of fact, in private chats, I've told her you should be charging these people a lot more for this awesome book. But hopefully, issue number 2, she makes it back, or she gets 1,000 back.
I will say I think that the price. What's the price point for just the single issue? And it's a 28-page book, right?
Yeah, 28-page book. She's got her PDF down to 3, which is extremely reasonable.
That's very reasonable. And
then estimated shipping. Hold on, Varian. I'll be right with you. This is a printed copy. Okay, $5.
That's a really, really reasonable price for a 32-page, and that 32 pages is a story. So I imagine there's going to be, 4 for the cover. So you're looking at 32-page self-cover floppy. For $5 is really cheap. In fact, I know a lot of U.S. companies right now that their 32 self-covers, they're charging more than that. I've gone to the local comic shop. Some of them are charging, $3.99, what they would say is competitive with the big 2, but most indies are charging, they're charging $4.99 for a 24-page self-cover, so 20 pages of story, and he's giving you 28 pages of story for $5. That's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, and I couldn't get the shipping cost, but I remember I think I got Varian. You backed the dealer thing because I deliberately backed the dealer thing. Where you can get the what is it? The Ava. There's one here. The retailer's bundle. You get 5 copies, and I'm going to tell Ines. I'm going to be like, just send me one of each copy, and then keep the rest and use it for shipping, because I feel bad. I really want to support Ines, so I got the more expensive one for that reason, to help her out.
Yeah, I got the retailer's copy bundle. I try to do that when it's affordable because, we like to give away books on
Indie Vault.
We like to give books away. And sometimes, I like to share books with friends who don't, who aren't known for necessarily returning things. So it's like, okay, well, I know I may never see that book again, but at least I help to get the word out there. And this particular project, I feel deserves it. So, I have no problem putting that down. I really wish I can get some of those pages. Those original ink pages are gorgeous. So,
so do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I can. I'm Varian Grant. This is a picture from happier times. I'm Varian Grant. I'm the founder of Indie Vault Media LLC and the co-publisher of Last Call Comics. Started making comics back in 2008, and I'm just like a pimple in comics that will not pop, will not go away. At this point,
you're that calcium buildup.
Yeah. At this point, I'm more like a keloid that just won't go away. You're like, hey, I'm here, I'm stuck. You're never gonna get rid of me.
Now,
that is one heck of a reference.
Yeah, I'm like a keloid behind your ear that looks like your ear swallowed a Bluetooth receiver. And
now, who are we getting on Geekgasm tonight?
No Geekgasm tonight. Miss Lola's taking the break. There was actually a scheduling conflict there. She was going to take last week off, and there was a scheduling conflict where she said, "Okay, I'll do last week. I need next week off." So today is her day to recharge. She's been working really hard on a lot of her own projects. She's got 2 books in the works, and 4 actually, but 2 are in development, and it's kicking her butt.
Man, I wish I would have known that. I would have made this a primetime show. I was trying to stay out of the way.
And it's it's been hectic on her, but she's getting there. She's almost finished. She's getting pages turned in. I gotta say, I'm pretty proud, man. She's becoming quite the publisher. She sat back and watched me fail for years, so now she knows what not to do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, she just said, So, I'm not doing that. Go ahead.
Live at 9 a.m. this Thursday morning, tomorrow morning, actually.
Yes, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for the Indie Vote Breakfast Buzz. Randy and I will be there. We had a great show last night. We had Robert Geronimo stop in on Facebook, Blood Realm, and Mindy Wheeler popped in, and Mindy Wheeler discussed what's going on with her and Dynamite, and really good show last night. If you haven't got a chance to watch it,
about the whole Dynamite thing, is she backing out?
She said that she believes it's going to be her last deal with Dynamite for a very good while, if at all. Again, so she's unhappy with the way things have been done. But I mean, everyone has to make their own decisions, and I think that I mean, what's happening over there is it's shocking, but I can't say unexpected. I did want to say something that was unexpected is that I don't know if you guys cover this, but that's Rob, that's your show.
My show this Saturday is actually based on what's going on at Dynamite. The dangers of creators coming before comics.
Yeah, it's that's very scary, and I think that we're starting to see it. I just got some emails. I got an email yesterday about another way artists or creators are being targeted now. It's really sad. Also, but I want to mention, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but today is the official start of San Diego Comic-Con Online.
We did mention it on the news yesterday, and I was going to mention it on my way out today.
So yeah, it's. I was eager to see what they were going to do because there's been a lot of online cons, a lot of online Festivus, and I was hoping that I think San Diego, they got money to put behind something. Let's see what they actually do, and so I've already looked at the layout. It looks interesting. Want to see what they're going to do. I know some shows aren't, or some exhibitors aren't going live until certain times. I think Funko's is scheduled for 5 Pacific time, I believe. So,
well, I think all of them are on a schedule. I don't think anyone's live the entire event. It looks like a bit of a mess. I wish they had tightened up their scheduling a little bit more and ran a real channel for it. That was one thing that's disappointing for it. They're not, how like Sci-Fi does, like at San Diego, they do a whole day coverage. I really wish they had approached it that way.
Well, it's just Wednesday. Let's see what they got in store for us Thursday, Friday.
Well, today's preview day too, right? Yeah. Wednesday's usually preview day.
Yeah. Let's see what else they got in store for us.
We're wishing good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to crowdfunding. Let's go back to the thing. You got to hang out with us, do some crowdfunding?
I can hang out for a little bit. I seen that you guys are looking at IVA, so
fantastic. You see $4,244. Let's see if we got anyone to back it. Well, we've been on 29, 130 backers, so we're getting it. People are back. We came on, it was 128.
Yeah. Yep, we've got 2. Let's get more than that. Come on, guys. She needs to be at 150 backers easy to get that 5,070, man. 5,070. It seems like a big goal, but honestly, that's especially for this artist, for crying out loud. This dude's amazing.
Yeah, she's what, 600 away, 6 and change away now? No, I'm good. Something like that. My mind's not working today for some reason. It's $797 is the difference right now. So that's easy. Come on, get behind this. Let's see this fund. All right. So what else do we have on the show today? We have Swords in Silence by Jonathan. I'm sorry, Connor Bartel. Connor Bartel is Swords and Stones. And Connor's been on the show before, and let's check this out.
Oh, yeah, I have to say welcome to the Kickstarter. Right, personally. Welcome to the Swords and Silence Kickstarter. In 2018, we released Swords and Sorrows through Kickstarter with the help of 210 backers. Now we're back at it again for its sequel. In Swords and Silence, Rat has gone from assassin to wanderer as he walks across the countryside seeking peace away from the guild. In an attempt to make an example out of him, the guild has sent its best killers after him. Swords and Silence is going to be a 22-page single issue, and we're going to offer a digital edition, but every physical edition comes with a free art print. Just like last time, we're going to offer a sketchbook edition with a bunch of artwork from Adigan in the back. If you missed Swords and Sorrows, bundles will be available where you can catch up on the first book as well as get the new book. If you want to catch up on our last Kickstarter, the Grimma Crossing Omnibus will also be available. Thanks for visiting our Kickstarter, and we hope you love the book. That's a wrap, baby. All right.
All right, so pretty exciting. Got that old school, what you used to watch when you were a kid, if you were my age, on WPIX, the Kung Fu movies.
Got I did like, you know what's funny is I actually like the video that he left some of the some that normally hits the editing floor in there. I like that. That's pretty cool. For some reason that was endearing to me.
Some people like that. Some people are like, I'd rather not. The art in it's pretty cool. I dig it. It is a black and white, just as FYI. It is a black and white comic. But you can see the art's pretty badass. Interesting looking book. Definitely something worth Googling it and checking it out. But or you can do the links. There's this guy, Chuck, who's the editor of it.
Oh, no.
I heard about him.
Chuck, named after a wine?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's on
I will tell you, I like a black and white, especially if it's done well, and I like the art on that one. I think it looks nice. I'm not one of those that like has to be a color only kind of thing. If there's a color option, I'll probably always back or buy the color option. But there's some cases where I really do enjoy a.
Every New Yorker remembers the black.
Sorry, I'm tearing up the next book because I realize we're over an hour. We want to get this show done in 90 minutes. But go ahead, finish what you're saying, Luke.
Oh, that was just it. But I like a nice black and white.
I think done right, it can. I don't remember if this has music. I'm gonna have to cut out. So bear with me. This might get
77. There was something unnatural about the heat that summer, and the son of Sam artist had everybody on edge. When the lights
can't tell if that's box music or an actual song. So I'm gonna set up our friend Shazam to make sure we don't get into copyright trouble.
went out, so many fires blazed, it was like hell opened up on earth. There was violence, rioting, anarchy everywhere. But most of the city had ended there, though. But for the boogie downtown, shit was just getting started. You see, the real story, the story almost nobody knows about, is what happened the next night when the lights came back on. When these Tugger Kung Fu cats, the Triads, and 100 New York City gangs tried to take out the neighborhood and make the city theirs. They damn near almost did it too, except they didn't count on one little thing. A group of kids from the block who had the guts and the skills to stop it.
Hi, my name is Chris Morin, and I'm one of the co-creators of...
Okay, first off, can we just acknowledge he looks like Matt Damon?
He does.
All right, I wanted to make sure we acknowledge that.
This project. Super excited to present it to you and to tell you more about what we're working on. A little bit of background information about myself. I ran a successful Kickstarter campaign back in 2013 for a night.
All right, boys, we need to judge right now. Shoe etiquette. Must you wear shoes to video your campaign?
I don't think that shoes are necessary, but you have to have long pants on if you're not going to have the shoes on. I think it's long pants, no shoes, or shoes with short pants.
Varian?
Otherwise, it just feels like you're naked from the waist down.
I'm a Luke on this one. I think that it definitely needs to be a balance there. But at the same time, I'm looking at his equipment. I'm looking at his equipment. Wow, that sounds really nasty.
I see the Chewy basket in the background.
What kind of equipment?
I was looking at his mic because he's got a boom arm there, and
I'm surprised Luke didn't notice the guitar.
Yeah, well,
I did notice the guitar. I noticed it looks to me like, well, it looks like it might have a cutaway, but it could just be some glare off of it. But it looks like almost like a lefty. and the little Chewbacca head in the back. I'm noticing those things.
And being someone who does like a lot of stuff now with audio and rigging of equipment, my eye immediately started going to the stuff like, hey, what kind of equipment is that? Oh yeah, it's a nice boom arm, and that's look at that, So I didn't even notice he didn't have like long pants on until you guys mentioned it. But yeah.
By the way, Travis just said that you have unlocked 2 digital comics, and you are 1,000 away from being funded. Who will get us there for Luke's Voodoo Nation? So let's continue this video for Peerless.
Premiere before Christmas, 20th anniversary concert. I want to thank all of you who supported that. It was an amazing event, and excited to bring a new project to you. This project started back in 2017. I was writing new original music for what was going to be a solo album. As I was working on the album, it just kind of took a life of its own, and it started turning out.
So I guess all the music's his.
Sounding like a soundtrack for a movie that had never been made.
A kung fu master confronts the toughest gangs in the South Bronx and the diabolical leader of the Tiger Clan. Think Big Trouble in Little China meets The Warriors, meets Game of Death, meets the Pam Grier classic Coffee.
Every story that you write on has potential, and as you write over the years, you learn you get some experience, and you learn that there's the stories that you like, and there's the stories that you love, and then there's stories, a few of them, that you're just ready to bleed for. Like, you can't even explain why they mean so much to you, but there's something that resonates at a fundamental level with you. And that's what took place when I read Chris's original script.
I loved kung fu movies growing up. The Shaw Brothers films were a mainstay on Saturday afternoons.
It's a super fun story, and it's engaging, and it's got a deep level to it. So it's not superficial. It's not a spectacle script. There's a lot of spectacle in this series, a lot of crazy over-the-top kung fu action and whatnot. But there's a lot of heart in this series, and a lot of deeper things going on. And when it's done, I mean, I'm not going to be bold enough to say it's going to change your life if you go through this whole series with us, but you're not going to forget it, especially like nowadays you read something or watch a movie and 5 minutes later you can't remember what happened. That is not this series. This series is going to stick with you. You're going to remember these characters. You're going to play some scenes in your head every once in a while. And you know what? You're going to probably read the series more than once.
We're excited to say that finally we're ready to present this book. We've brought on the amazing artistic talent of Pablo Pepino. He's done an amazing job so far with the artwork, and we're very excited to present it to you and hope that you'll consider supporting this Kickstarter campaign.
I'll say this, the Kung Fu is strong with that project.
Yes. I liked it. In fact, the only advice that I would give them is like, they spend so much time showing real pictures in the beginning in the video. Put that art up front.
Yeah, get to the art first. Yeah,
put that art up front. I was not expecting that quality of art, and when I'm like, wait a minute, this art is actually good. Why are we putting this behind like a minute and a half of real people?
Have you guys? Yeah, have you seen The Warriors?
Yeah,
I did not like that movie. I would not compare it because this looks better than The Warriors. I'll be honest right away. The Warriors had weird things in it.
Warriors was weird.
Like, I'm just going to suddenly rape you, woman. Oh, wait, here come the cops. Oh, I'm shot and killed. It was like the weirdest film ever.
It was pretty strange.
I'm sorry. I like that bit of dialogue. Where I've been saying, "Oh, I'm shot and killed." Not just,
oh, damn, you a cop.
I have to have a character say that. I'm shot and killed. Just while playing there.
You done got me.
Damn, you popo. But I love the art.
Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. And the coloring too. Like, now that's one of those things I want to know who did did the work. So whoever is that creative team is awesome. I want to hire him for my next book. I like those covers too. See, now back up a little bit. That right there, like that's the kind of sexy pinup that goes like that goes with this book. And that right there, I'm like, yeah, is that a stretch goal? How do I get that?
Doesn't say it's a stretch goal. I think it's just offered as a reward. It's a pinup, so I'm sure you can get pinup as a reward. Let's see, pinups and 4 mini prints. Yeah, so here you go. You get the print issue, 4 mini prints, ships anywhere. They say international backers is $10 shipping charge applied to pledge. So I think shipping's free in America. Again, I'm not signed in here, so I don't know if it's actually going to tell me what. Oh no, US is free. This time I can see it. So US is free. So $28, you can get that.
So I will tell you that I'm seeing that more and more. Like, you know, we're even doing that with Video Nations where US shipping is free.
Sometimes it's hidden though. Like I'm okay with my books. I'll do $15 free shipping or 10 with shipping, if it's just the issue, because either way it's $15, and I think it's easier to promote it 15 free because you think you're getting an extra value. What do you think, Varian?
I do. I think that it's I mean, I think the value's there. I think that the doing the like, I'm not a fan of like getting like a lot of prints because I have like my walls are covered with posters, but I do have some portfolios I can put the stuff in portfolios. But again, if they're gorgeous pieces, I want to make room for them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna figure out where they're going.
Luke, here's the team.
Okay, so we've got Chris. That's the dude with no pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick is the writer.
Okay, so we had the concept guy, the writer guy.
There's their artist, Pablo Pepino.
Pablo Pepino.
From
Argentina. He's freaking good.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He's been published by Marvel.
Yeah,
Vertigo, Boom. Yeah, so yeah, he's got some. I see that. Now who's our colorist?
Damien Pinalba, comic book colorist.
A comic book colorist.
Yeah, Damien Pinalba.
Yeah, Six Gun Gorilla. He'll be famous soon. That dude's amazing. It's perfectly matched with the art, man. I love it.
I like while they talk about why they need the money and the stretch goals. That's always good. Sometimes I worry about people charging too little for shipping, because then I start getting nervous. Does this person taking the hit? Like, because we know Anessa said it on her program. She doesn't care about, and she said this on Indie Vault, she doesn't care about taking a little bit of hit on the project to get the book started. That makes sense. You do that. As opposed to the person who's clueless about what's about to hit them, and then they show up on Indie Vault as someone that we're talking about. Because they're not agreeing on the project.
Yeah. I think that they'll be fine. This seems to be well thought out, and
yeah, this one and plus they're asking for $5,000.
Yeah,
I mean, when you're asking for a higher tier amount, but you have this caliber, like it makes sense. I mean, just look at that art.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
Oh man, I love that. That page was great.
Yeah. This is cool. And of course, I'm from New York. So anytime you say New York, my ears perk up. And I'm like, tell me more. And I worked in the Bronx for a year and a half. So I like that art. I know it's, what is that? It's kind of a hybrid of CGI at this point, but it's the next generation CGI. If it's not drawn, that could be drawn, actually.
Yeah, that looks painted.
Yeah,
It looks like the reason I think CGI is the Spider-Verse movie.
Mm.
But
because they do
closer to it, it does look more drawn than that. But again, that one was also part drawn, wasn't it? With CGI added in.
I think Spider-Man is completely CG, but it, you know, again that film, looking at it was Yeah, the Spider-Verse is just gorgeous. I'm sorry.
It is. It's probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, but
the only
that's
thing
not what we're here to talk about.
is the jitteriness of the film, and it freaked out Jax. Oh my god, I've never seen Jax so freaked out. The spider part, where the spider was huge on the screen, he lost his collective mind. Would not stay in the theater. Dragged me out. I felt so horrible. He eventually got over it when it was on a smaller screen, which I was happy about because I don't like having my son have fears. Unless it's a fear of getting hit by a car, I'm happy he has that. But something on a television screen, I don't necessarily think he should be afraid of.
I don't. I want to tell you, you took your life into your own hand, man.
Why?
If your kid drags you out of a theater because they're afraid, do not go into an alley. Chances of you getting the credits rolling on you are very high.
That's how every comic starts.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Uncle Ben. All right, so here's the Oswald Chronicles 1 through 8. Discover how Mouse Oswald becomes the greatest sorcerer of his time.
Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles. I'm here to share with you a current campaign for issues 7 and 8 of the Oswald Chronicles, Passing Queens and Making Homes, where we see Oswald have his final confrontation with the Dark Queen and her orc army, and the ramification on Oswald and his newfound friends. We're also offering up It Came Seeking Me, a one-shot adventure with Oswald and his friends, where an evil dark force visits Oswald to ask for his help. So please, check out the rewards. We have regular covers, virgin covers, sketch covers, and for those of you who are new to Oswald, we still have a few copies left of prior issues. Thank you for your time, and please go buy yourself some awesome books. JD out.
How long was that campaign for? Because I see 7 days. He's only about halfway. He needs $500. It's a little over halfway. 8 backers. That's it.
Hey, I only got 13. I'm in no place to argue about backers right now. I got to get on that. But I mean, in fairness, he's been on Kickstarter a lot this year. And this is more of an alternate cover Kickstarter than anything else. So sometimes you're just going to a very unique fan base on this. But if you've never experienced this, this is a great way to get caught up. Even with the first issue sampler, he's got some book levels, some virgin covers, and who doesn't like a good virgin? We have the book level where you can get all of them for $80. So I mean, you can catch up pretty quickly. Very cool. Black and white interiors, just so in case anyone's wondering. He is thinking about coloring it, though. I think that'd be exciting when he goes to a trade to color it. You've been on your show a couple times. He's a good, energetic guy.
Yeah, JD's passionate about this project. He's been working on it for years.
Yeah. You got to understand, he really is behind it. You just have to understand that.
Yeah, and again, he's asking for so little because, much like you, Rob, he's gonna get it done anyway.
Yeah, it's already done. This is a book that's done. He's offering it to an audience. He doesn't care what he makes. And a lot of times with my Kickstarters, I don't care what I make. I do miss the con floor, being on cons now, and I am debating actually selling on my Facebook page because, I have this thing. I do it every so often. Maybe you guys do it, eat. I like to eat, so I want to continue to eat. So, I got to sell some comics. I heard
I'm a big old boy. I like to eat.
I'm not sure who you're talking about, Meredith. Meredith goes, I was actually afraid of, that was Iva, and she said, I heard that she was fed up with publishers. I'm not sure who you're talking about now because it's been so long since we were there at 106. I don't know where we were.
I'm referring to the NYCC Wheeler situation.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, she did mention that she was fed up with publishers, fed up with the kind of the games they're playing, especially now because you can get canceled because of who you are rather than your ability to do work.
Not even who you are, the perceived notion of who you are.
Yeah.
And this is where becoming a culture that doesn't, as the cool kids say, show receipts.
Yeah. And when we're off air, I will tell you what some of them are doing now. That is shocking.
Now, are you going to cover that or keep that private just to make sure you're not spreading ideas?
I'm going to keep it private for now. I will just tell everybody, watch what's out there on the internet. watch what information is publicly available on the internet about you. You know, there are some places that they deal in information, and you have the right to have that information pulled from those sites. So, you know, be very careful with that. So, but yeah, I'll keep it secret for now. But if anybody wants to touch base with me privately and ask me what's going on, you know, I'm happy to share that information and suggest how you can get, you know, yourself, you know, in safer waters.
I don't live in safe waters, Very, and you know that. If I'm not pissing the fish off, I'm not doing right in my little pond. So, with that in mind, we're gonna move on to our last crowdfunding campaign. Just got permission of it during the show. Here we go. This is Tales from Nocturnio 1-3. So I guess I don't remember if he had an issue number 2. It's been a long year. Please forgive me. But this is his first created, so I can't go back and look. But here we go. All right. So,
I do believe I'm a backer already on this one.
Yeah, I can't tell. Usually it'll tell me who I know who's backed it, but in this case I don't. He said, Matt Knowles says, yes. Issue 1 and 2 were on my personal. Okay, this is the first campaign they deliberately made in Symmetry Creations page. All 3 issues and the 130-page trademark are in this campaign. So, you guys, the one thing I'm always surprised about with them is they don't actually get on camera. If you guys have seen Matt Knowles or Steph, they have a good personality on camera. They come off very well. I'm always surprised that they don't pop in to talk about it a little bit on their things. I get the music. I'm a huge fan of the type of music, but I really would like to see them explain it because they're very passionate about it. And this is a campaign, if I'm not mistaken, that has a lot. Matt Knowles is known for writing more pledge levels than actually comics when he does his campaign. There are so many different things that you can get. Because he does.
They got a lot of stuff in there.
I mean, he could actually launch a Kickstarter for his crowdfunding, just the how to make pledge levels and how to deliver on them, because he has so many different pledge levels. I'm not even kidding to tell you, I think that he has about 30 in here. Not even trying to kid around. I'm dead serious, about 30 of them. And if you're a fan, they're so tailored. However, I will say that for those who don't know, Kickstarter is actually trying to do an add-on feature. I'm debating playing with it. It came out, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It came out right after my campaign went live. That you can add on as you go. It's an interesting. It will stop having poor Matt having to write all these these long poor guy. I mean, luckily they for you don't even understand. Kickstarter used to be you couldn't even copy your pledge level. At least now you can duplicate it. There used to be a time you'd have to rewrite all this. So I'm sure some of these are duplicates, but just being able to keep track of all this, you gotta give a lot of credit to Steph Cannon and Matt Knowles behind this. You can see how many different books are being offered. Here's just a taste of some of the different pledge levels and all that.
I really do think they should be on camera more.
Well, they do a lot of interviews. It's just for these videos, they've never really gone on them, and you can't say they're doing anything wrong. I believe they've already hit their
they've hit their goal.
Yeah, their funding nut and then some. 121 backers, 25 days to go. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot about stretch goals in the coming weeks. Let me see if Matt said anything else because I was looking through there. No, that's it for today, guys. All right, we made it to the end. Time to say goodbye. We'll start. Bye. Yeah, bye. Fuck off. Go back to your lives. No, we'll start with Luke Stone.
Yep. Hi, my name's Luke Stone. Please feel free to go by the Voodoo Nation's Kickstarter. Check that out today. And also, you can find me at stonestudios.com. Find me on social media there, or head over to terraformcomics.com. Sign up for that mailing list. Today, we got some exciting news that's going to be coming out there. If you like a company that is about the creator, about the art that we do, and about getting good content into the customer's hands, and you want to check out Terraform Comics at terraformcomics.com.
And very great.
Hello, I'm Varian Grant. You can follow me on Twitter at KYD_V. Also Facebook, Varian Grant, just like variant with no T. It's Varian Grant on Facebook and pretty much everywhere else on the web. LastCallComics.com is my publishing company, and IndieVolt.com is the company where I take aim at the industry that feeds me. It's weird, very, very weird.
No, you're just honest about it, and you try to make sure the industry will survive so it'll still be here tomorrow by pointing out what's going wrong.
Yeah.
So we can still eat.
Yeah. Like I said, I like to eat every so often. Me and Al Bundy, whenever we can. All right, guys, couple videos on your way out. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys like this deep dive because until we have more Kickstarters, we might be looking at this. We might actually be doing these deeper dive videos with crowdfunding. I mean, this went 90 minutes, but that's usually what our Kickstarter pause show goes. So imagine that. It took Luke and me basically looking at every campaign, rewards, goals. We've never done that before in Kickstarter Plus. Sorry, Cheerios down the throat. Luke remembers what happens when that happens. He was at a show where I had been dealing with the injury to my neck and throat. So we don't want that again. We do not want that again. I know some people would rather I shut up. I'm sure Varian's already seen all the stuff they have on me on their little website. But that's it, kids. We're out. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you all soon. Back my campaign. Stop hurting my feelings. I have to get at least 20 backers or I'll never hear the end of it from Travis Kidd. So help me out. I don't want Travis picking on me. If you're going to do anything, do it so Travis won't pick on me. And while you're there, back Voodoo Nations, back Anessa's Iva. We had the amazing book. I want to make sure we call off everything that we had in here. The All-Star, the anti-bullying book. That was awesome. The Oswald Chronicles for that cool new cover. The Swords of Silence, get your kung fu on with also not just that book, but Peerless. And then we got the Lily, the Demoness, and Seed Seekers from Martha Schwartz. And, of course, Tales from Nocturnia. So we're out. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you all tomorrow, Thursday, at 11 a.m., right after Indie Volt. As soon as they go off, we're going to go on. So if they go over a few minutes, we'll be respectful of them. As soon as either at 11 or whenever Indie Volt ends their breakfast buzz, we'll go live with the indie news tomorrow. Remember, I'm on at 9 p.m. on Indie Volt myself. This week is going to be the important topic of the dangers of creators coming before comics and how really that is a really dangerous thing for us to be facing. We're out of here, so a couple things on your way out. Help us continue to advocate. While we advocate for thousands of creators and hundreds of projects a year at no charge, the tools we use, such as web hosting, URLs, and computers, have an annual cost. Help comic book advocates stay on air. Please consider donating anything you can to help us to continue to advocate and put on advocating program for everyone to enjoy. Become an advocate for us and a sponsor for advocating. Who knows? If we make enough, maybe we can hire a full-time editor.
Mr. Andersin is the unboxable advocating creator known as the Devilish Comics creator who will tempt you with his devilish tales. He creates books about fetish, monsters, and more, and offers free spanks and hugs. He also teaches morals with farts. Check out the Comics Devil by going to MrAndersin.com.